Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Matt, and today we're going to take our first step in programming by exploring variables. Our goal is to familiarize ourselves with them and learn how to use them in code. Then we'll build our first program and see how variables work in practice. So let's dig a little deeper so we can understand variables. Imagine variables as a container that holds different things. They can store numbers, names, or any other information that you can think of. Each variable has a unique name, like a label on a box. So let's look at a couple of real-world examples so that we can get a better idea of variables. So really quickly, let's look at the construction of a variable. There's going to be three parts to a variable. There's going to be the name of the variable, what you name it. There's going to be an assignment operator, and then the assignment, what we're going to put in that variable. But now let's move on to actually building a variable. So really quickly, let's take a look at two variables that we're going to use for our program. The first one is age, and the second one is favorite color. For age, let's take our variable, and we're going to call it age. We're going to put the equals sign, and then we're going to put our age. Now for favorite color, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put a variable, and we're going to name it favorite underscore color. And then we're going to give an equal sign, telling Python that this is what this variable is. And we're going to put quotes on both sides of our text, and we're going to put, in this case, we're going to put the color blue. And you can change that. You can make it whatever you want. It can be red, it can be green, it can be turquoise. That doesn't matter. It's up to you. But for our program right now, we're going to put the color blue. So we figured out our variables. So now let's dive into Python code and build a simple program that uses variables. We need to follow a couple of steps. First, we need to open your preferred Python development environment. I'm going to be using Visual Studio Code. The second thing we need to do is we need to create a Python file and save it with a meaningful name, such as my first program. But in my case, I'm going to name it variables.py. And that .py is very important. That tells the computer that this is a Python file. So in Visual Studio Code, I'm going to come over here to the left column, and I'm going to click on this icon with the plus symbol. Now, there is another way for me to do it. I can come down here, I can right click on this, on the background, and I can select new file. So for me, I'm going to name mine variable. And I'm going to bring this down a little bit, and we can start writing our code. So really quickly, as we write the program out, I wanted to cover a couple of things. First of all, these are comments. They start with this hash symbol, and anything after the hash in that line is going to be commented out. So the program will ignore it completely. This is not part of our program. These are notes for us, comments for us to be able to write notes about what we're doing in the code, keep track of things. It's also really important if you're going to be sharing or working on programs with other people, so that way they can see what that particular block of code is going to do. So we have two blocks of code that we're starting out with right now. One we're going to call variables, and one we're going to say display information. Now these are not vital to the code. So if I omitted these completely, the code is still going to work just fine, but it's just for us to start working on building good habits in our program. So we worked on two different variables. The first one was age, and the second one was favorite color. Wow, spelling is hard. Wow, okay. So now we're going to say equals. Favorite color is going to equal, and we're going to put quotes out. And we're going to say blue is our favorite color. So our age is not 0. Let's say 25. You can put any number here. This is how you're writing the program. For me, I'm going to write 25. I'm not 25, but we're going to write 25. Let's add one more variable just to throw out and make it a little bit more useful of a program. We're going to use the variable name. And just like any other string of text, we're going to say equals. Well, any variable we're going to put equals, but any string of text, we're going to put it in quotation marks, and we're going to put our name. We're going to capitalize it because that's how English works. All right, and then our favorite color is going to be blue. So now let's go over presenting this information on the screen. So we're going to use a function called print. Woohoo. it's a lowercase b. And now in that, it's print, parentheses, and then when we put a string of text within a print statement, we're going to use those quotes again. So let's start with our first variable. Matt is what it is, and so we want to present that information. So we're going to write my name is, and then we're going to go outside of our quotation marks and we're going to put a comma because we need to say this is the end of our string, and now we're going to be doing something else. So now at the end of that, we're going to be working with the name, the variable name. And in Python, that's it. You don't have to put any semicolons at the end of the line like you would in other programming languages. For Python, just a carriage return back to the beginning, and we're going to start another print statement, and we're going to say, we're going to use age this time, and so we're going to say, in quotation marks, and then we're going to go outside of our quotation marks. We're going to put a comma, we're going to put our age variable, and then we're going to put quotation marks again, and you see that it's separated by these commas. And then we're going to put years old. And then working with our last variable, favorite color. Again, we're going to put it in quotation marks, and we're going to put my. We're going to learn to spell. Hopefully. Color is. And then we're going to put and now I'm going to tab complete that just so I don't have to write out favorite color all the way. So we have 3 print statements, and they're going to take, one of them is going to take all of our variables, and now you can do all of them in one line, and that's fine. But we're going to do it all in 3 lines because I wanted to give you experience in 3 different, producing information on 3 different variables. So in Visual Studio Code, we're just going to come over here to this little play button. We're going to hit play, and we're going to come down here to our program where it executed, and it says, my name is Matt. I am 25 years old. My favorite color is blue. 3 of those statements are correct for me. You can change those all for you to any of the different, you can change them to whatever variables you want them to output. We're going to go over what these different data types are in more depth in the next video, but for now, we're just going to cover these here. And that is everything. So we've written our first program, so congratulations. We've built our first program using variables. We've learned about variables, and we've learned that they are like labeling a box or a container, and they store different types of information. We've only covered strings and integers, but we're going to cover a lot more in the next video. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.